and suggest to you is that we should ask ourselves what we've done to help effectuate the Cairo vision. We should ask ourselves how much can be expected of a president. Presidents set a vision. People carry them out. What can we do? And I ask you as you leave here today to reflect carefully on what individually and personally you can do to help see that Cairo vision. The theme, essential theme being mutual respect and mutual interest. What can you do to make sure that Cairo vision gets carried forward? Can you do something in the area of science, in the area of academia, in the area of art, in the area of commerce, and in the area of human endeavor to make sure that that vision of mutual respect and mutual interest between the U.S. and the Muslim world actually gets carried forward? We who would stand back and say, well, you know, maybe not enough has been done, need to ask ourselves, what have we done? And I think it's important because you simply cannot succeed simply by giving a speech, but a speech that offers a bold vision is necessary to chart a new course, particularly from the one we were on. So I ask you to join in the fight, as you already are. Many of you do all. This is a meeting of leaders, to continue your pursuit of this new bold vision, a vision that we all were waiting for, a vision that all of us already had. But isn't it nice when something you've been thinking for so long actually gets articulated at a level where it can really make a difference? So with that, I give you two excellent speakers who will take us through a wonderful conversation that I hope all of us can participate in. Professors Tariq Ramadan and Professor Reza Aslan. Thank you very much.
Saying we should do something, and for that I want to thank you. Because from the very beginning I understood that on many steps during these 6 years we have been in touch, and sometimes reacting to some of my reactions by telling me you should have to be patient with what is happening, and you were right and you was wrong on some of the reactions that I had at a specific moment when it was quite clear that I was facing silly reasons about me being, you know, banned from the country. I also, while being here, want to thank Professor Peter Mendeley, because he was also one of those who from the very beginning were in touch with me and supporting me, as well as Professor Aslan Dean, not only because she was very supportive afterward, but because she was very supportive to bring me in the country before you and I was banned at Notre Dame University. So for that, thank you so much, and thank you for your support, and for all of you who have been supporting that case. Let me just go straight to some of the points, because we don't have much time, and it's a complex discussion. In my introduction, I come back with what you were saying, Ellison, and once again, thank you for your words, and I think that the future will be a future of collaboration and meetings and working together. It's really about the high expectations that are coming after the Cairo speech. My first reaction is just to say, as you were saying, it was a very, very important and very profound and well-structured speech, and for all of us, something which was really something that it's a new era, and we have to take it as it is, and understanding also our own responsibility, while at the same time we should be critical in a way which is to be constructively critical. Because there are still things to be changed, we are waiting for things to change on the ground, which are waiting for things to be, you know, for the current administration to deliver. So it's a constructive, critical approach, and also, as you were saying, self-critical approach, because to be passive and to wait for the administration to do the job, and especially not to understand the very important role of American Muslims in the whole discussion about the Muslims, the Islam today, Muslims in the West, and Muslims in majority countries. I think that this is something which is quite important. We are sometimes too much passive and very much critical, while we have to be critical, self-critical in a constructive way. Having said that, what we could have been expected from this talk and from the policy, and what we also have for understanding which way we should be involved in the discussion, this is what I want to highlight. it's really to understand what is changing and in which way we have to listen to this, and it's quite important. We were very disappointed under the Bush administration, the way things were said and understood or misunderstood, and this perception that us versus them, you are with us or against us, and here we are with a speech, but not only a speech. I think it's really a way of dealing with governance and dealing with the Muslim majority countries and dealing with Muslims. It's a new understanding based in a very specific way of using words, and as it is said, the use of words matters. And this is something which is very important for us. When you have a president and the whole administration now avoiding and removing from the vocabulary something which has to do with war and terror, it's something which is quite important. In one of your papers, Reza, you are referring to this, and I think that this is really important for us to come to this, but also I think that a very nuanced understanding of the diversity among the Muslims and the Muslim majority countries, and this clever way to deal with Muslims and to be understood, we have to deal with is new at that level. So it means for us to raise to that level of understanding, level of discussion, and the dialogue at that level, understanding the words, understanding the terminology. For example, for the last 15 years, I'm not using myself, I have not been using something which is quite important in our involvement in the contemporary world, which is the Islamic world. I'm talking about Muslim majority countries. And you will see that in his speech, he never used the concept of Islamic world. And it's a very important thing. Speaking here about our understanding of what is an Islamic society, what is a majority Muslim society, and in which we are living, is a very important point. And this is not only about wording, it's about understanding, it's about defining and prescribing our universe of reference, and this is where it's also quite important. So, this is something which is important. The second point which is important, when we were in Europe, and this is also what you got here in the States, many people were saying this speech is directed or trying to reach out the Muslims and Muslim majority countries. And in fact, if you listen carefully to what is said during this speech, there is something also which is quite important. It's at the same time a very important point and also a responsibility for American and Western Muslims. He was talking to the Americans. He was talking to his fellow citizens by telling them something which is important. Islam is an American religion, and American Muslims are citizens, and they are contributing to the future of this country. He said it 2 days before the speech in France by saying, the United States of America, it's a great Muslim country. I didn't believe him. I said, it's not possible. He didn't say that. And I asked for the translation because this was said by someone translating from English to Turkish and said, I want to see the original text. And he said it. And this is also something which is connected to Muslim majority countries and the way we speak about an Islamic country where you have Muslims and Muslim citizens. You are dealing with a religion which is an American religion. So Islam is a Western religion, and this is something which is an understanding. So overall understanding, wordings, and the way we deal this nuanced understanding of the diversity among the Muslims and among the Islamic majority countries, this is something which is new, and we have to build on this. This is where we have to start. We have to take this as something which is a starting point of our discussion. Understanding that with this, we should be critical and constructively critical and self-critical. Understanding what we have to do and in which way we have to be involved in the whole process with all this. So this is the second level, which is quite important. And then there are some of the points in the speech which also have to be discussed. When, for example, you are talking about Iraq, it's a problem, the way, the fact that you can have another position on this, and especially on one point, which was to accept the war in Afghanistan and to reject the war in Iraq. It's as if Afghanistan is legitimate. I don't think it is. And I think that this is why I should be constructively critical about what is going on now in Iraq, in Afghanistan. It's problematic, and I don't think that is one battle. I think it's a lost battle, and I think that we have to reassess what is done there. But this is what we have to involve in politics. This is what the citizens and the loyal American Muslim citizens should do if they are loyal to the country, so to assess this and to be critical in Afghanistan or in Iraq, and still we have the words say we acknowledge the fact that the Palestinians are suffering. And this is a very important